In this lecture, we will talk about ICT in education in more detail, right? So, what are the benefits of ICT in education, or what way this should be utilized, or this can help us in our teaching learning process, right? So, first we will study about use of ICT in education. What benefits do we have if I can include ICT in my teaching learning process? Basically, ICT assists students in accessing digital information. If I am using ICT tool, it means as a teacher, I am giving you some online material. Through what I am sending you? I am posting it in the WhatsApp message, you are able to read it. Or I am sending an email to you, you are able to access it. It means I am using ICT because I am using some communication medium, right? So, ICT assists students in accessing digital information. Second one, ICT promotes collaborative learning in a distance learning environment. Let's say you are doing an online course, somebody like NPTEL, right? Somebody else is teaching that course and you are able to learn it, and it is possible with the help of ICT. And also there is collaborative learning because you can ask questions, they will reply to you, all that happens, right? Next, ICT offers opportunities to develop critical thinking skills. When you don't have any such IT tools, you will waste most of the time in finding solutions for those challenges. But since you are using some technology, you are using some software which is making your job easy, you have more scope for thinking. You have more scope for critical thinking. You can develop those skills using these ICT tools. Next, ICT produces a creative learning environment. It encourages, right, where you can see, as a teacher, I share a lot of material. Okay, it's up to you. How do you use that? Best example could be, I gave a 100 pages document to you, right? What you can do, you give it to ChatGPT, ask it to summarize or simplify. So you are using in a different style of learning, right? That also comes under this ICT. Next, ICT improves the quality of teaching and learning. As a teacher, if I'm using a projector and explaining the points, theoretically, if I keep reading, it will be boring for you. If I show some diagrams, if I show some video, if I show some animation, you will be learning better. Also, my teaching will also be better, your learning is also very good, right? Finally, ICT supports teaching by facilitating access to course content. Okay, so if I upload it in some portal, some LMS, or maybe some Canvas, some digital platform, you can access it forever, or you can access it whenever you want from wherever you are, right? So all these are the benefits of using ICT in our education. Basically, altogether, it enhances the process of teaching as well as learning. Next, what is the scope of ICT in education? It means in what all fields or situations can this ICT help in education? ICT has a vast scope in the field of education. At all levels of education, it could be a school or college, ICT has promising results. This encompasses the areas such as teaching learning outside the classroom and in regular face-to-face setup or distance mode. That's what, no. In classroom, I'm using projector and laptop and making my teaching or interesting. I'm explaining the concepts easily for you. Or if when you're outside the classroom, my recording of the video will help you, right? In that way it helps us. But let's see in different scopes where this ICT is useful in education. The first one is used in teaching learning process, as I am telling you continuously. The common use of ICT for teaching includes preparation of notes, teaching learning resources and examinations, right? The best way of using ICT by teachers in teaching learning process is to see that students are motivated to use technology, which takes care of concentration on technology or on the teacher at a given time in the classroom. So if I'm using some tools, I can make sure that you are all learning seriously, you are focused on that. Your concentration is only on the learning process. Maybe I may display a quiz in the classroom, so I ask you to answer it. Then people who are answering, I can catch them. If there is some scheme, no, where I ask you to do online responses, I will know whether all the students are listening to the class or not. So in that way it can be useful. Then ICT can be used for publication purpose, right? So the education uses of ICT for publication purpose is mainly to disseminate information or ideas and share them with the community, public, government organization within the country or abroad. Basically, we as teachers or researchers, we write lot of research papers, and that papers are being published in some platforms which are accessed by researchers, other researchers across the world. So that is possible with the help of ICT. And thirdly, ICT is used in evaluation. Evaluation is one of the very significant part of teaching process, right, which comprises the learning process and also the provision of feedback to learners. Because by conducting an exam or a test, I understand what is the level of your learning, right? So basically there are two forms of evaluation, formative evaluation and summative evaluation. In both these cases I can use ICT. In formative evaluation, this is used as a learning tool just to give you some feedback or know your performance, some assignment, some case study I can give to you. Summative, it's what you write in this institute, right? This is an evaluative method for grading and making judgment about the students in a particular course. So summative evaluation means conducting exam, and formative evaluation means giving some assignment, quiz, essays or case studies. So in all these process, ICT can help. Fourth one, ICT can be used for research purpose, right? So products and processes of ICT provide access to lot of information on innumerable topics produced by people of diverse areas and fields across the globe. Through internet, I am able to read lot of research papers published by many other people. That is possible with the help of ICT, right? That information which is produced by somebody else is available in the form of text, image, sound, videos and animation. You are learning certain topics in YouTube videos or Udemy courses or Coursera. That is possible because somebody else is using ICT and uploading it and making it available in the internet. And finally, ICT is used for administration purpose. If I am using some ICT tools, some softwares in our college, we can make some announcements, reports, everything, right? In this institute, we have ERP. We are using some software, MIS or ERP, where the whole data of registration process or giving notices, everything is online. Basically, it is use of ICT. I am using some software to develop an application, right? So ICT makes the jobs of the heads easy and manageable. And since I am having everything as a soft copy document, it saves space. There is no need of any physical files now. Everything is electronic, right? So these are 5 different areas where there is scope of ICT in education. I will repeat once again. ICT is used in teaching learning process. It is used in publication purpose, in evaluation, in research purpose and for administration, right? And the final concept in this ICT for education module is characteristics of ICT in education. What are the characteristics of ICT? The first one is student centric. By using ICT tools in my education, in my teaching learning process, right, the classroom environment have become student centric. Means students first, rest all comes second. Students interest first, and they are focused on each student's needs, abilities and learning styles. So basically ICT helps in student centric teaching style. Next, computing devices. These assist a lot in teaching and learning and make them more engaging and effective, right? So since I am using computing devices, the teaching and learning process becomes more effective. Third one is active learning. Students can learn actively by talking and listening, writing, reading and reflecting. If I am using ICT, right, so students are encouraged to take an active interest in learning. If they are encouraged to take an active interest in learning, they are more likely to retain the knowledge they have accumulated. Okay, that's what, no, active learning is more important in classroom. So that's what you remember it for longer time. Next one is adaptive learning. In the fourth approach, in the adaptive learning approach, right, it gives students the freedom to learn at their own pace in the way they are more comfortable with. Let's say I am giving you this lecture in a video form. So you want to increase the speed, reduce the speed, pause it at some time, watch it, you want to forward it, or you want to come back, everything you can do. And that is possible using ICT. And finally, invitational environment. BYOD, bring your own device approach. If we have to encourage students to bring their own laptops, tablets to the classroom for better personalized learning. Somebody is interested in typing the notes. Somebody is interested in drawing the diagrams and noting down. So, students should be allowed to use any kind of ICT in the classroom. Teaching with the technological material is more effective, stimulates student engagement, eases the work of teachers, and makes it easy for the students to focus on the learning. Right? So, these are few characteristics of ICT in education. Okay. So, in the next lecture, we will study more about different teaching and learning process with respect to ICT.